Hi and welcome. My name is Kendra Johnson. I use she and her pronouns, and I have the awesome honor and privilege of serving as the Executive Director of Equality and C. Absolutely delighted to do one of my favorite things, which is to shine a light on some of our endorsed candidates so you can get to know them and make your decisions as you get ready for these really important upcoming elections. I'm here today with one of my favorite candidates, Brian Farkas for NC House 9, and want to give him an opportunity to introduce himself, his pronouns, and tell us a little bit about why he's running and anything else he wants to share about himself personally. So Brian, welcome, and let's jump in.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm Brian Farkas. I serve Pitt County's 9th District in the North Carolina House of Representatives, he, him pronouns, and I am in my first term serving what has been a tremendous time for me and a real honor to be able to give back in this capacity. I'm out in the eastern part of the state. Again, that's in Pitt County. Some great small communities like Winterville and Grifton and Ayden, and then of course the city of Greenville. And it's a district that I grew up right in the middle of, and through our schools and our community programs, this is the place that invested in me. So to be able to now give back in this form of service at the legislative level has been just a tremendous privilege. And I'm really proud of the first term work that we've been able to accomplish. So excited to be here. Very appreciative to Equality NC for the endorsement and looking forward to the conversation today.
Awesome. So, Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself. It's always great when the candidate is actually grown up in district and knows the community in detail. But what's your day job besides being a legislator, and what brought you to run for office?
Absolutely. And I first will say, if you're ever looking to be a candidate, running in your hometown gives you more support and advantage than you think it ever would. So any of those young people who might be looking to maybe put their name forward on a ballot, I challenge you to consider running in your hometown, particularly in maybe those hard to reach places or in some of those rural areas where your voice is needed more and now than ever. So just to throw that out there. But yeah, I grew up in Greenville and in Pitt County. I left to go to school at UNC Charlotte for undergrad, got my master's at the School of Government at Carolina, where I was trained on how to make government or nonprofit organizations run and efficiently and to do it well in a nonpartisan atmosphere. And I love that work. I ended up specializing in emergency management for the National Institutes of Health for a little bit of time. But then in about 2013, I started looking east again for the opportunity to take the next step in service. I was very concerned with the direction the legislature was heading. My brother is a public school teacher, and it was really the issue of education that started to concern me with what I thought were some really regressive policies, like getting rid of master's pay for teachers who invest in themselves. So I knew that over time, sitting quietly, being the best public servant I could be was probably not going to really be the spark I needed to make the change in the areas that I care about. And I think I may have to take these skill sets to Eastern North Carolina again and give back to the hometown. My father owns a small business in the area. Just so happens he was looking for someone to really step into the operational role and the marketing role for the firm. We've got a small business that I remember being founded on our family's kitchen table growing up. And to see it become a successful business is exciting. And to be able to join it and get that private sector experience has been invaluable as well. So came back to the community, invested in the community, volunteered like crazy to make sure I was reacclimated. And when the time was right, followed my gut and announced a campaign for office. We fell a little short in 2016, but we came back in 2020 after taking some more time off and continuing to give back to the community, and we won the race. So to your question, Kendra, right now I'm in the private sector outside of my legislative duties. I work in an architecture firm. We do a lot of work east of 95 in communities all across the region. And that perspective of seeing where people are and where we are doing things well and where we definitely need help drives what I do. And the legislature has helped really narrow down where some of my focus has been, often on broad-based policies that I think really lift people up. Some of those kitchen table issues like high-speed internet, is definitely a big one we deal with, and public education, because every child, no matter the zip code, is entitled to a high quality public education in North Carolina. We always need to be leaning into that. So that's what I do right now. And I love the work in the legislature and trying to be a consensus builder as well.
Awesome. Thanks for that. You touched on some of the issues. My next question was really like, what are you championing? And I know that particularly for rural communities, there's a huge digital divide, which, impacts how people can access education and access information. But what are the other issues that are coming up? It's been dire times. The pandemic has hit families. What are you championing? And if you're reelected, what will you be working on, and what issues will you be addressing in your
Right.
continuous?
Yeah, well, I mean, what I'm really excited about in the second campaign that we're running is we've got a track record that I would put up to anybody in terms of what's been achieved as a freshman member of the minority party. We came in going hard on public education. I knew from the pandemic and meeting people at the polls that high-speed internet was an issue that crossed Democrat, Republican. It didn't matter your political party. Businesses, healthcare access, in particular, our children were really being left behind because they didn't have the access to the high quality internet that they needed to, keep life moving. So we jumped in feet first on broadband expansion and what that meant. I believe having some of that emergency management background helped me kind of work through some of the legislation we were seeing and the millions that were allocated from the feds to the state and actually getting it where it needed to be. And when it comes to those first term achievements, some of the things I campaigned hard on that we're able to talk about getting done was a new $215 million building for the East Carolina University Brody School of Medicine. As I've traveled out east in this part of the state, you can see that access to care is a real issue. This facility is going to allow us to grow the class size by a third. And ECU already graduates more people that are primary care physicians that stay and practice in North Carolina than any of the other medical schools in the state. And it's not only the most physicians that stay, but it's the most diverse class of physicians that stay in terms of demographics. And so to see that we're helping lean in on that strength and cultivate an even larger class and lean in on that is going to be a really good thing, particularly for my region, but all of North Carolina. So to be able to talk to people about getting that done after my last predecessors failed to do that was a real achievement and something we're proud of. We talk about the broadband internet access. We've put millions and millions of dollars, historic amounts of money into expanding broadband into those hard to reach places. And my office actually filed what was called the Broadband Modernization Act. We were able to play around with some of the definitions and what is and is not high quality broadband speed and free up $500 million more that can then go out into underserved communities. And that's simply by making sure we knew how to read legislation and go line by line. The bill itself didn't pass, but the Republican majority actually liked the bill so much that they took it and put it in the state budget when we passed the appropriations 2022 correction. So that's money that's out there that is getting to where we need it. And we're seeing historic levels of that now in the toughest places and where people have really struggled to get it. It's enhancing competition, and it's going to be really, really great for that child who needs to be able to do their homework at night and they need access to the internet. So really proud of those big achievements. The other thing I'll mention that's kind of a combination of healthcare and high-speed internet is we were able to establish the first of its kind Center for Telehealth and Digital Health Access at East Carolina University. We've got some great programs like telepsychiatry and telenursing, agri-nursing. There's a bunch of programs. We're bringing it all into one place. So not only are we going to be providing services to anyone who needs it remotely in North Carolina, but we're going to do it in a way that allows us to constantly get better and innovate on the best technology. And I believe that this center is going to be a leader not only in North Carolina, but the southeastern US on what it means to provide healthcare and get internet to people in an unconventional way, or maybe it's the new normal, right? But anyway, ECU is leading on that, and I'm really proud of that achievement. Altogether, in my first term, I was able to bring $320 million back to my county in direct investment. And some of those are some really exciting criminal justice programs. We've invested in a new mental health court. We've got a lot going on out here that I think people are getting excited about. But I'm just getting started. And that's what's so exciting about campaigning, not only what we've done, but where we're going to go. My campaign is working very hard to take the next steps on securing passenger rail service to Eastern North Carolina, east of Wilson. We've got a major university here with ECU, and there's no reason that with that university, one of the larger community colleges and being the gateway to Eastern North Carolina, that Greenville shouldn't be part of that statewide rail network and provide people with affordable, dynamic transportation options. We are working on that. I'm excited about it. We're also have not finished the job on Medicaid expansion. I served on the special committee that was appointed this year after the budget, asked a lot of questions and really felt that we moved the needle. And over time, we've even got the Senate on board with Medicaid expansion. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we're going to keep getting the speaker where we need to do so he does the right thing. And I think we can get there. But that's a job that has not been done yet. And like I said, I'm going to hustle every day to make that happen. That means 13,000 people here in Pitt County will get covered if we expand Medicaid. It's 500 new jobs in my county alone and $114 million more in economic impact. That's money that's going to other states right now. It's unacceptable to me. And when we talk about stabilizing rural healthcare in Eastern North Carolina, Medicaid expansion is a huge part of that. So I'm going to keep going. I think we've got momentum there, working across the aisle with anyone who's serious about that solution. And we're just going to keep grinding away. So I guess in all of this, there is unfinished business. But like I said, I'm just getting started. I know how to work across the aisle and move the needle of progress, even if it's just a little bit. I'd rather us move forward a little than just stay completely static and get nothing done. So yeah, that's kind of what we're about, and happy to answer any follow-ups you might have. But
No,
yeah,
you've been
this
busy.
got the energy to get it done.
Yeah, you've been busy. Medicaid expansion is critical. Getting high-speed access to the internet is critical for rural areas. And, just getting more affordable healthcare and doctors into rural areas, which are so often overlooked, is all critical. And of course, we can't say more about economic development. So thanks for that great work, and looking forward to see what you do next. I want to pivot a little bit. Equality NC works around social justice with an LGBTQ lens. And so, this is a moment where we've been under attack, not only in North Carolina, but nationwide, with over 450 bad bills targeting trans youth, and trans and gender nonconforming folks. Across North Carolina, sometimes folks don't get that scenario and why we need our allies. I know you've been a good ally to the community. Can you talk about why equality is important to you and what kind of support we could expect if you're reelected for the LGBTQ plus community?
Absolutely. And again, it's been an honor to be endorsed by this organization, but the most rewarding work is actually to be able to take that endorsement and talk about it candidly in the community itself. I think Greenville is a really special place. It needs leaders who will think boldly on some of these issues and know that they've got a champion. And that's why I've been, a proud ally and a public ally when in Eastern North Carolina, oftentimes you don't see that level of courage. So we're going to keep doing it. In ECU, we've got some special resources with the Peel Center, one of the largest LGBTQ plus centers in all of our university system. I've been a regular supporter of that center. I go to their annual events, and it's a great opportunity to engage, and more importantly than anything else, listen, so that I can hear what's going on the ground. Because at the end of the day, no one deserves to, not feel like they are getting the same level of justice or equality or treatment that any other person should. And, we should treat everyone with love and compassion and respect, and just love each other for who we are. That's a driving message that grounds me in my faith. And it's something that I really believe in. And too often we see just people decided to, our communities, people attempt to split us apart on some of these divisive issues when I actually think more people are together on this issue and the issues that we face, and our allies in this than some of the folks who would keep us in the past want people to believe. So, tough bills are out there some days. At the end of the day, I'm going to be a staunch supporter for making sure everyone feels that they are not discriminated against, that they can be who they are and they can love who they want to love. That's just the way I'm going to be, and it's the line I'm going to hold. And I'm going to continue to try to be a champion and hopefully an ally, more importantly, to those who are looking for it in Eastern North Carolina.
Thanks so much for that. So tell us what do you need in your campaign? Like, it's great for us to have all of our allies. We want folks to know how to plug into your campaign, how to give you money, how to help you knock doors. So here's your moment to tell us what you need right now and make a call for folks to get engaged.
Well, I appreciate it. And I guess I'm getting, now that we're like 40 days out from the election, I'm getting more used to the urgency now and making sure everyone knows exactly what we need. We are in one of the most competitive legislative seats in all of North Carolina. It's a true purple seat, susceptible to some of the national trends. And so the urgency of the moment and making sure that we do not have a backward thinking supermajority after election day in our state legislature, all roads to stopping that lead through Pitt County. I need your help. We have got a great ground game. I'd put it up against any other one in the state. We knock doors, we do phone calls, we do it in a dynamic and exciting way that allows everyone to be themselves and authentic and engage people in a really genuine conversation. So obviously we've got the ability to do that, but we could always use more capacity. So volunteering at brianfarkas.com is the easiest thing to do. We also, for those who use the Mobilize software, you can go to mobilize.com/brianfarkas and get plugged in on some of our phone banking opportunities. We are knocking doors every weekend, and with the exception of maybe this one because of Hurricane Ian, we're going to play it safe first and foremost. But we are out there, we are pounding doors, we are again going to where people are, and we could use that help on the ground. brianfarkas.com is also the best place to go and donate to the campaign. I don't like calling people and asking for money. It's just, the necessary evil of the way we do things, I guess, in our current campaign system. And let me get this straight. I want to see comprehensive campaign finance reform over time. But until we can get that done, folks, we need funds to take on a lot of the special interests and big dollars that are coming in from the other side. So anyone, whether it's small dollar or larger dollar contributions, brianfarkas.com is the place to do that. It is greatly appreciated, and every cent will be accounted for and spent wisely and strategically. And again, we're running a campaign that I think can make all of North Carolina proud, trying to bring people together, look for those common threads that bind us, and move the needle of progress forward. I know we can do it. Volunteering and donating to the campaign gives us the tools we need to take that next step and keep on going.
Thanks so much, Brian, and best of luck with your campaign. Thanks for taking the time to talk about the issues that are near and dear to you, but also to folks in your district. And we are so excited to work to help get you elected. We look forward to collaborating, and we urge all of our supporters to join to ensure that we have a good body of folks who are allies and out electeds, to ensure that we have comprehensive non-discrimination protections and we have folks fighting against the bad bills. Looking forward to November 8th, fingers crossed, and good luck with your campaign.
Thank you so much, Kendra, and thank you again to all of Equality NC for the support. You all have stood with me so many times in the past, and you stand with me again, and I'm tremendously honored. So we're going to keep doing our part over here and make you proud and have some good news on Election Day.
All righty. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.